Welcome to a world where darkness brews and vengeance awakens. In the Scarlet Circle, rise of the witch hunters, ancient pacts are shattered, and a new force rises from the ashes of betrayal. This is the story of a brotherhood forged in fire, trained to hunt the very magic that once ruled the land. As witchcraft spreads like a curse, the Scarlet Circle steps into the shadows, armed, relentless, and bound by blood. Join us as we uncover their rise, their battles, and the chilling secrets behind their sacred oath. This is more than a hunt. The Scarlet Circle, Rise of the Witch Hunters. Part 1, The World Before the Flame. Before the world knew fire, there was magic. Long ago, the ancient lands of Eldereth were ruled not by kings, but by witches. They were not all cruel nor all kind. Some healed the sick and whispered to the stars. Others wove curses that turned men into beasts. Magic pulsed through the roots of trees, ran wild in the rivers, and shimmered in the blood of those who bore the mark, witch blood. But as time grew old and the tides of power shifted, men grew fearful. The unknown became the enemy. And so, from the ashes of fear and blood, rose a ruthless order sworn to extinguish magic from the world. The Scarlet Circle. Part 2, The Founding Flame. The Scarlet Circle was born in blood. Its founder, Alaric Thorn, was once a priest whose family had been slain in a witch plague. His wife turned to salt. His daughter burst into flame. And in the depths of his grief, he heard the voice of the flame, an ancient fire spirit who promised him vengeance. Alaric accepted and was reborn as the first Flame Inquisitor. He gathered men and women who had suffered by magic. Warriors, priests, zealots, he gave them purpose. Together, they hunted witches from the northern fjords to the southern jungles. Villages burned. Grimoires were destroyed. Magic bled. They wore crimson armor. They carried sigils of fire. They became legends and nightmares. Part 3, The Spark of Rebellion. Not all witches cowered in the dark. In secret covens, the last of the true-blooded witches formed a council. The Veilborn. They protected the child of Eclipse, a prophesied witch who would one day break the chains of fire and restore the balance of magic. Her name was Serenia Veil. Serenia was born beneath a black moon, marked by a crescent scar on her palm. Raised in silence, trained in the old ways, she was hidden from the Scarlet Circle for 16 years, until a betrayal tore her world apart. A traitor among the Veilborn led the hunters to their sacred grove. In the chaos, Serenia's mother, a powerful moon witch, was slain while casting a spell of concealment. Serenia barely escaped, but her heart turned to ice. Her destiny was no longer just survival. It was war. Part 4, Blood and Fire. As Serenia gathered the scattered remnants of the old magic, the Scarlet Circle grew more brutal. Led now by Inquisitor General Cedric Malverin, Alaric's prodigy, the Circle had become an empire. They constructed vast sanctums called pyrobastions, which served as prisons, torture halls, and execution sites. They recruited fanatics and trained them as ember blades, hunters who wielded enchanted fire forged from the soul of the flame spirit itself. But cracks had begun to form. Among the ember blades was Cale Draven, a boy raised from infancy in the Circle. Loyal, deadly, and devoted, until he discovered that his mother, executed as a witch, had never cast a spell in her life. Her crime? A birthmark shaped like a star. Cale began to question, and questions in the Scarlet Circle were dangerous. Part 5, The Witch and the Blade. Fate brought Cale and Serenia together in the ruins of Windrest Hollow, where a skirmish between witches and hunters had left both sides wounded. Cale was sent to execute the last survivors, but instead found Serenia healing a wounded child, surrounded by flames that did not burn. She should have killed him. He should have struck her down. But something ancient stirred between them, a resonance. Witch blood and ember fire did not clash. They danced. Cale let her live, and for the first time, Serenia saw that not all who wore red were monsters. Part 6, The Circle Cracks. Cale's betrayal did not go unnoticed. When he defected from the Circle, taking with him forbidden scrolls and blueprints of the pyrobastions, he became a target. A traitor. a witch sympath, the circle unleashed the Ash Choir, an elite unit of silent hunters, upon him. But Kale had allies now. Serenia introduced him to the last of the Nightshroud sisters, witches who could bend shadows into weapons. He trained with the druids of Stonebark Hollow, who taught him to shield his mind from fire visions. Together, they formed the beginnings of a new rebellion, the Hollow Flame. Their mission, not just to survive but to bring the Scarlet Circle down. Part 7, Siege of the Pyre Bastion. The first true battle came with the Siege of Ember Reach, the largest of the Circle's pyre bastions. Serenia, Kale, and an army of witches, rebels, and outcast sorcerers launched a coordinated assault. Using illusions and blood runes, they breached the walls. Fire and magic clashed in the night, turning the skies red. In the heart of Ember Reach, Serenia confronted Inquisitor Cedric. Their duel was brutal, moonlight versus flame, prophecy versus fanaticism. In the end, Serenia shattered Cedric's Emberblade and cast him into the fire he once worshipped. Ember Reach fell, and with it, the myth of Scarlet invincibility. Part 8, Rise of the Witch Hunters. But the fall of one fortress did not end the war. In response to Ember Reach, the Scarlet Circle initiated Project Sanctum, a plan to create a new breed of hunter. Infused with both magic and fire, they were known as Witch Hunters Prime, unstable hybrids, more weapon than man. The first of them was Maelys Vorn, once Serenia's childhood friend, now transformed into a living flame. He could track magic like a hound, devour spells, and rend minds. The Circle unleashed him upon the Hollow Flame. What followed was known as the Burning Season. Entire covens were eradicated. Cities turned to cinders. Even Kale fell in battle, sacrificing himself to allow Serenia to escape with the Book of Unmaking, an artifact said to possess the power to sever the bond between the Circle and the Flame Spirit. Part 9, The Final Spell. Serenia, now hardened by war and grief, invoked the forbidden ritual of the book. To complete it, she needed the blood of the first Inquisitor, Alaric Thorn. Though he had long vanished into legend, Serenia discovered the truth. Alaric had not died. He had become the vessel of the Flame Spirit itself, entombed beneath the Circle's first stronghold, Crimson Spire. The final battle was fought not on land, but in the Soul Realm, where Serenia faced Alaric's wrath and the Spirit's madness. She was tempted, broken, nearly consumed, but in the moment of defeat, the Spirit hesitated. In Serenia, it saw not an enemy, but balance, a bridge between flame and shadow. She did not destroy it. She bound it, chained it to her soul, and in doing so, she severed the Circle's connection to the flame. Part 10, After the Ashes. The Scarlet Circle crumbled. The pyre bastions fell silent. The Witch Hunters Prime turned feral and were hunted down. The Hollow Flame established a council to oversee magic's return, ensuring it would never again rule unchecked. Serenia disappeared into legend, known as the Flamebearer, guardian of the chained spirit. But her message remained. Magic is not a curse, nor a blessing. It is a flame, and we must learn how to carry it, without letting it consume the world. Explanation and themes. 1. Themes of power and fear. At its core, the Scarlet Circle. Rise of the Witch Hunters is a story about fear, how it can drive people to commit atrocities, how it can be weaponized, and how it can be healed. The Scarlet Circle represents the fear of the unknown. While some witches were truly dangerous, the indiscriminate slaughter reflects how institutions often generalize threats and justify violence in the name of purity or order. The witches, once dominant, also show how unchecked power can lead to corruption. The story doesn't romanticize magic. It presents it as a double-edged sword. 2. Cycles of revenge. Alaric Thorn begins the Circle to avenge his family. Serenia rises to avenge her mother. Kale turns against the Circle to avenge his falsely accused mother. This cycle of vengeance perpetuates violence on all sides. The resolution only comes when Serenia chooses not to destroy, but to bind. This breaks the cycle and suggests that true power lies not in conquest, but in restraint and understanding. 3. Identity and choice. Kale's journey is a mirror of many who are raised in toxic systems and later question their beliefs. He is an example of how indoctrination can be challenged, and how identity is not destiny. His defection becomes a symbol of hope. Similarly, Serena evolves from a prophesied savior into a complex leader. She struggles with rage and vengeance but ultimately chooses balance over destruction. 4. Moral complexity. There are no fully good or evil sides. The circle began with good intentions, protecting people from magical abuse. The witches once ruled the world and abused their powers too. Some ember blades question the cause. Some witches hunger for retaliation. This nuance makes the world feel real. Everyone believes they are the hero of their story, and that's what leads to conflict. 5. Symbolism of fire. Fire is everywhere in the story. Destruction, warmth, illumination, transformation. The Scarlet Circle uses fire as a weapon. The witches use moonlight and shadow to balance it. Serena's final act is to bind the fire, not destroy it, echoing the idea that power must be guided, not extinguished. Conclusion. The Scarlet Circle, Rise of the Witch Hunters is a dark fantasy epic about magic, vengeance, transformation, and redemption. With a rich cast of complex characters and morally gray conflicts, it explores how cycles of violence can only be broken through understanding and sacrifice. It's not just a tale of witch hunters and spellcasters. It's a reflection of our own world, of how fear builds walls, how power can corrupt, and how hope survives even in the ashes. Thank you for joining us on this dark and thrilling journey through the Scarlet Circle, Rise of the Witch Hunters. The battle between steel and sorcery has only just begun, and the shadows still whisper of secrets untold. If you enjoyed this glimpse into their world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss what's coming next. Share your thoughts and theories in the comments. Who do you trust in this war of vengeance and magic? Until next time, stay vigilant, because the hunt never ends and the witches are always watching.